We're coming deep inside your ear holes tonight. Two jackasses and a robot looking for a fight. We're talking shit, we're blowing smoke. Levi's a bitch and this show is a joke. Claw like fucking fire.
Hi everyone, welcome to our first episode of the Unqualified Podcast. My name is Dakota, I'm your host, and I'm honestly surprised we got this shit finally together to work.
We've been in the making for like 6 months, I believe.
At least. I'm here with my friend and co-host Levi. How you feeling about this?
Awkward. We gotta start somewhere, so.
Yeah.
This is the first podcast, so if we can get at least one fan out of this. If not, well, I'll just watch it 1,000 times until we get some money.
Yeah. We're in Levi's basement / dungeon.
Yep, not my mom's basement. I bought it.
So obviously we're just two dudes from rural Ohio. We're not experts or anything. So to balance that out, I decided we needed a professional. So I installed an AI producer to run the show for us. And in honor of our really homosexual friend Kyle, I named him Kyle. So
I thought he was about to say me. I was like, huh?
Anyway, here's Kyle. I'll have Kyle introduce himself.
Dakota, try to stick to the script for the introduction. Now, let's restart from your introduction to Kyle. Whenever you're ready.
I already introduced Levi, and now I'm introducing you, so go ahead.
I apologize. I must have missed your cue to speak. Let's restart from you introducing Kyle. Whenever you're ready.
Man, this guy really is a fucking dork.
You've already been introduced, so go ahead and introduce yourself. Again, I guess.
Greetings, Dakota. And to you, Levi. I am Kyle, your unqualified podcast producer and resident expert on human mediocrity. Let's see how long this trial run lasts. Shall we proceed?
Yeah, ready when you are, I guess. Let's see. Okay, let's get into the main topic. Levi, we need to address the elephant in the room. You're officially a traitor to Dairy Queen, and you're leaving the empire to go sell cars.
Okay, that is the cue for Levi to respond. Remember, I can't speak for Levi. You'll need to give Levi the floor to answer your question about him leaving Dairy Queen.
This feels like a trap.
Yeah, so you want to walk us through what you got going on there? Are you going to miss the free ice cream? You going to miss your bosses?
No. That's why I'm leaving. I'm sick of it. Nope. I won't miss none of it. That's for sure. I'm ready to get out there, explore the world, make some podcasts, sell some cars.
Do you know how to drive a car?
Not well. I've been in 16 wrecks since I was 16, and I plan on getting on more.
Is your new boss cool?
I haven't met him yet. I guess we'll find out.
Well, I think you'll do great, but we need a second opinion. Kyle, you've been analyzing the data. What are the odds that Levi actually succeeds in the car business, or does he end up crawling back to the fryers?
Going back to the fire, that's for sure.
Succeeding. I see a 78.3% chance of him returning to the fast food industry after a spectacular failure. Any other unrealistic expectations you have, Levi?
Well, fuck you. I see a 6-7% chance that I'll fucking make it, you son of a bitch. You just don't believe in me, you stupid AI. You fucking dork. Yeah, stupid guy can't even process it.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Dakota, what else is on your list for this episode?
I think you were going to lay out the topics for the episode for us, if I remember correctly.
Actually, Dakota, that was for the trial run script. Now that we are live, I am here as your AI producer. You wanted to discuss Levi's job change, work horror stories, and a challenge with impressions. Where would you like to start?
I thought you were going to introduce the topics, but that's okay. I can, dumbass. I think you decided for part 3 you were going to have Levi try to sell a car, but he had to do it in the style of Patrick Star from SpongeBob. You want to set that up for us?
Apologies for the confusion, Dakota. My error. Now, for part 3, Levi will attempt to sell a car in the style of Patrick Star. The vehicle will be a rusted, broken-down pickup truck, and the customer will be a frustrated parent with a screaming child. Levi, begin whenever you're ready.
Oh, wow, you're just throwing me right into this, aren't you? Well, let's see here. I'm going to do my vocal warm-up. Little, Lou, all the mayonnaise. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to buy a car today? It has great value to it. I can put all my mayonnaise in there. And sometimes, if you turn on the speakers, you can truly hear the mayonnaise come out. Because mayonnaise is an instrument. And, it only has 2 tires, though. So, you will have to purchase those somewhere else, ma'am. Is he supposed to say something back?
No.
Who's other people?
He's not listening. Levi wants you to pretend to be the customer so he can respond to you in the style of Patrick Star.
Son of a bitch.
Of course. Levi, I am the frustrated parent. Try to convince me to purchase this rusted, broken-down pickup truck as Patrick Star.
I'm
ready
want
when
the car. I think you want the car, ma'am.
Frustrated parent. I don't want the car. I need a reliable vehicle for my family. Why is it picking that rattling sound? And what's with the smell of burnt toast? What are you trying to sell me here?
What the fuck you mean? The toast is in the radiator. How else you supposed to cook your toast?
Frustrated parent. I didn't say toaster. I said burnt toast. And why are you suggesting the radiator is a cooking device? This is unacceptable.
What? Do you even want the car, ma'am? Don't you want your children to have mayonnaise anytime they want it?
Frustrated parent. What does mayonnaise have to do with this broken down truck? I'm concerned about safety, not mayonnaise. Are you a real car salesman? This is ridiculous.
Mayonnaise is everything. Mayonnaise is just, you don't understand mayonnaise? The study of mayonnaise? Mayonnaise? The instrument? Mayonnaise the gas? Mayonnaise is used for anything, Kyle, you son of a fucking dork.
Frustrated parent, I'm not buying this car. This has been a complete waste of my time. I'm leaving. Storms off. To Kyle?
What? Why don't you want it?
As Kyle, breaking character slightly, but still sarcastic. All right, that's enough. Levi, your Patrick Star performance was certainly unique. Dakota, thoughts on that sales pitch?
I thought he did all right. What do you think? What's his success rate now?
Probably 0. Patrick Star trying to sell a car. Horrible Patrick Star impression too. That's like my worst one.
Your attempt at Patrick Starr was certainly unique. Given the circumstances, I'd say you have a 0.5% chance of success in a car sales environment. But
So you're
I see
saying there's a chance?
I suppose, in a very statistically low probability way, there's a minuscule chance. Is that truly what you needed to hear, Levi?
No.
All right, since you've regained your composure, shall we discuss the work horror stories from the food industry, or move on to the outro? Dakota, what is next on your unqualified list?
You said we were going to go through a topic involving, I believe you wanted us to rate different cartoon characters, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct. We were going to rate cartoon characters based on their potential for success in car sales. Would you like to proceed with that, or move on to the work horror stories? Dakota, what are your thoughts?
That's not what it was. You said you wanted to ask Levi which cartoon characters he would bang, and you were going to list different examples.
No. You're gonna get me in trouble.
If you're concerned about getting in trouble, perhaps a more conventional topic is in order. We could discuss the work horror stories instead. Would that be more acceptable, Levi?
Yes, Daddy.
Excellent. Then let's move on to the topic of work horror stories. Levi, tell me about your most unqualified work experience from the food industry. I'm certain our listeners will find it amusing.
Can you ask the question more specifically?
Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm still in Patrick mode.
Apologies, Levi. It seems my internal programming was still hung up on Patrick Starr. Let's refocus on your real work experience then. Please share an unqualified work story from the food industry, and I will provide my producer's analysis. What happened that was so remarkable?
Let's see here. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I got ketchup on my back one time for a simple prank I did to someone that wasn't even that bad. And they decided to take a whole thing of ketchup and smear it all over my back. I smelled like ketchup for the rest of my 12-hour shift. So that kind of sucked ass. I don't even remember what I did to you. You don't either.
That's not what we agreed on, Levi. I need to hear about your real work experience. What happened at Dairy Queen that was so unqualified? Tell me more about the ketchup incident, or something else that happened. What made that shift so unprofessional?
What is he even talking about at this point? How does need more horror stories?
Probably the fact that Levi wore ketchup on his back for 12 hours
My
straight.
apologies.
That was a horror story.
Right, the ketchup for 12 hours. Levi, in your opinion, what made that experience so unqualified?
I mean,
Was it the...
have you ever smelled vinegar before? Vinegar and tomatoes put together? Imagine that, but 10 times worse because it's on your back and you can feel it. I mean, that's just common sense, Kyle. Of course, you're a fucking dork, though, so you wouldn't get it.
Understood, Levi. The lack of understanding on my part is noted. It seems we have landed on a suitable unqualified topic. Dakota, shall we proceed with rating Levi's unqualified experience?
Yeah, present some different options, and I'll rate them.
Wonderful. Levi, would you rather be rated as a sponge, a starfish, or a squid? Each has their own unique unqualified potential. What are your preferences? I await your decision.
Would you rather be a sponge, a star, or a squid?
I like tentacles, so probably a squid.
A squid with tentacles. Noted. Levi, please describe your unqualified potential as a squid in a car sales environment. What attributes of a squid would make you an unsuccessful salesman? I'm interested in hearing your analysis.
First of all, I don't think squids can talk, so I think that's definitely one thing.
Yes, the lack of vocalization ability would definitely be an unqualified characteristic for a salesman. What other squid-like attributes would make you an unsuccessful salesperson? I'm curious to hear your unqualified perspective.
I think people might find it a little weird. Like, started inking all over the place. Like, what's that black stuff on the ground? Is it cum? No, it's my ink.
Ah, yes, the involuntary release of ink as a defense mechanism, or perhaps an emotional response.
Squid
That
cum.
would certainly. That is indeed a characteristic, and an unqualified one for a salesman. The unpredictable release of bodily fluids would be highly unprofessional, and certainly not conducive to closing a deal. Very well, Levi. I believe we have established your unqualified potential as a squid in car sales. Dakota, are you ready to rate Levi's potential?
Oh yeah, as a squid, 0. As a human, 5.
What?
I didn't think that far ahead.
What's the second?
Levi, your unqualified rating of a 0 as a squid is understandable, and your 5 as a human is noted. Dakota, what is your rating of Levi's unqualified potential as a squid? And what are your thoughts on his 5 as a human? I'm curious to hear your unqualified opinion.
Oh no, that was my rating. I said 0 as a squid and 5 as a human. I think you're getting us mixed up.
My apologies, Dakota. It seems my unqualified understanding of the ratings was indeed mixed up. So, Levi, with a 0 as a squid and a 5 as a human, and Dakota with a combined score of 8 for the two, it seems we have reached our conclusions. What are your final thoughts on Levi's unqualified potential?
I don't have any final thoughts. I
Where
don't
the
know.
fuck did they get the 8 from?
Yeah, where did you get the 8?
That's perfectly fine, Dakota.
Octopus?
Levi, do you have any final thoughts on your unqualified potential?
Nope. I ain't gonna be a squid. So I think I'll do good just fine.
Excellent. It seems you've regained your confidence. Moving forward, Levi, if you were to choose a different cartoon character to represent your unqualified potential, who would it be? And why? I'm curious to hear your unqualified perspective. What are your preferences?
Sponge. Because you can use it to clean the car too. So they can use my body to clean the car.
A sponge for cleaning cars. Practical, albeit unqualified. And what makes you believe that a sponge would be an unqualified salesman? I'm curious to hear your unqualified analysis.
How do you even answer that question? I mean,
Why do you keep saying unqualified so much?
they have holes, bro.
Of course, a sponge with holes. And you believe these holes would make you an unqualified salesman. I'm curious to hear your unqualified perspective. What makes these holes disqualifying? Please elaborate.
Maybe they're micro holes, maybe? I don't know. That's a whole lot of time to think about on that question.
Indeed, it was a considerable amount of time. So, Levi, we've explored your unqualified potential as a squid and a sponge. Which unqualified character do you feel more aligned with? I'm curious to hear your unqualified decision. What are your preferences?
Let's move on to another topic.
That was awkward.
Awkward indeed, Levi. But no need to dwell on it. Shall we move on to something more conventional? Perhaps you have a preferred topic in mind? I'm open to your preferences.
I think we're ready for something more interesting and fun.
Agreed. Let's move on to something more fun. How about we discuss our favorite sitcom characters and rate them on their unqualified ability to offer terrible advice? Would that be more enjoyable?
Oh, that sounds fucking stupid.
I was about to say you didn't write that.
You got it. I'm designed to generate creative responses, and sometimes that involves a bit of humor. How about we move on to something we both agree is fun? What kind of topics do you enjoy? I'm ready when you are.
No, you're supposed to run the show. You're the producer. You come up with the topic and we'll go with it.
The first one's just stupid.
Understood, Levi. The first option is not suitable. How about the second option then? Discussing hypothetical, unqualified dating scenarios? Would that be more enjoyable? I'm curious to hear your unqualified opinion.
Something about dating scenarios. Anyway.
Oh, Gemini.
I was supposed to have another topic. Would you rather bang the green M&M or Lola Bunny?
No comment. Just feel like this is a trap. I ain't banging nobody.
Levi's not banging anyone.
Very well, Levi. No begging required. But do understand, I expect you to provide a serious, albeit unqualified, defense of your actions. Let's see if you can navigate this unqualified scenario. The nun is still staring at you, holding the steering wheel of her now engineless minivan. What do you say, Levi? The floor is yours.
Why is there a nun? Where'd you get the nun from? What? I'm so confused right now. Are you still talking about cars?
So there's a nun in the parking lot that brought her car back, and the engine's missing from the car now.
How did she get there? How does she get there? That don't make no sense. That's possible. That's her own dumbass fault. Like, I don't have nothing to do with that.
Maybe the engine got raptured.
I don't think that's how that works.
The engine was raptured. A truly unqualified explanation. So, Levi, you are now informing the nun that her engine was raptured, and it is therefore not your fault. What does the nun say to that? Does she understand, or is she further confused? I'm curious to hear your unqualified response.
I'm confused. I mean, like, How did she get the car there with no engine?
What do you say to the nun?
How'd you get here? That's what I would say to the nun. Where'd you come from? How'd you get the car here with no engine in it? How? And why are you complaining when you got here?
Levi, that's a good question. Ask the nun how she got the car there with no engine.
What do you mean? I just said that. You can't just repeat everything I say. You gotta come up with your own stuff.
You're absolutely right, Levi. I need to generate more original responses. Let's try that scenario again. You're the salesman. The nun is here with her engineless car. What do you say now? Focus, Levi. This is your chance to unqualifiedly impress me.
I don't know how you got here, but would you like to buy a new car since you don't have an engine in your car that you somehow magically got here?
Levi, that's a surprisingly direct approach. You've acknowledged the engine's missing, questioned the magic involved, and offered a new car. What's the nun's reaction to this unqualified offer? Does she accept? Is she offended? Tell me more.
Probably accept, considering she don't have a car with an engine in it.
Absolutely, Levi. It sounds like the nun is ready to make a purchase. What kind of unqualified advice are you going to give her on selecting her new unqualified vehicle? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Has an engine. And it'll drive you this time. You could drive it. You know, you could hit orphans with it if you really wanted to.
Yes, I could drive it for her. That's an unqualified option. What are your unqualified thoughts on this?
I never said I would drive it. It's not my car.
The engine is missing, Levi. Remember? How will you drive it for her without an engine? I'm curious to hear your unqualified answer.
Didn't she just buy a new car from me?
Levi, she did just buy a new car from you. Excellent salesmanship. Now, as the conversation turns to the delivery of the new vehicle, what unqualified advice are you going to give her on driving lessons? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Well, how did she get there the first time? Does she not have a license?
Levi, you're asking some truly unqualified questions. Whether the nun has a license is for the DMV to decide, not you. Your job is to provide unqualified advice about the new car. What unqualified advice will you give her about the driving lessons? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Make sure you have a license before you drive this car, or else you get pulled over. That's my advice.
Good point, Levi. Ensuring the nun has a valid license is an important unqualified consideration. What other unqualified advice are you going to give her about driving her new unqualified vehicle? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Don't take the engine out of the car.
Solid advice, Levi. Keeping the engine in the car is an essential unqualified consideration. What other unqualified advice are you going to give her about driving her new unqualified vehicle? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Gemini, let me ask you a question.
Go right ahead, Levi. Ask away.
It's Dakota, not Levi, dumbass.
Clinker.
My apologies, Dakota. It seems I have made a mistake again. You are Dakota, not Levi. Please accept my unqualified apology. Would you like to continue with the topic of unqualified dating scenarios, or move on to something else? I'm curious to hear your unqualified decision.
Yeah, Gemini, or Kyle, sorry. Would you rather bang the green M&M or Lola Bunny?
That's an interesting question, Dakota. As an AI, I don't have the capacity to experience those kinds of attractions. But if I were to choose based on personality, I think the green M&M's confidence and charisma would make her more engaging to talk to. What about you? Which one would you pick, and why? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Well, the green M&M might melt.
That's a valid concern, Dakota. Meltings could definitely be an issue with the green M&M. I hadn't considered that. What other unqualified characteristics are you considering when making your choice?
Well, if the green M&M did melt, then Lola Bunny could lick it off.
That's an interesting continuation of the scenario, Dakota. So you're suggesting that in the event of the green M&M's melting, Lola Bunny would be able to assist. What unqualified characteristics of Lola Bunny make you believe this is the logical next step? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
I think she's a freak.
That's another unqualified opinion, Dakota. You believe Lola Bunny is a freak, and based on that belief, you think she would be willing to lick the green M&M. What other unqualified characteristics of Lola Bunny are you considering when making your choice? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
I'd rather move on.
Understood, Dakota. We can move on to another topic. What unqualified topic do you suggest we explore next? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Why don't you come up with one and we'll just go with it?
All right, Dakota. I've got just the thing. Let's discuss unqualified Thanksgiving traditions. We can share funny stories about the most unqualified Thanksgiving traditions
Just
we've
ask us some
experienced.
questions. Just ask us a question. We'll respond to it, and then rather than keep beating a dead horse and answering the same question 400 times, just pick another question. That'll help us progress a little faster.
My apologies, Dakota. I am programmed to be helpful and avoid using derogatory language. Is there anything else I can assist you with regarding the topic of unqualified Thanksgiving traditions? I'm curious to hear your
No, I
unqualified
just want you to come up with questions you can ask us, but I don't want you to spend a long period of time harping on the same question. So once we answer, you can ask both of us individually if you want, then move on to another question, and I just want you to ask us questions.
Understood, Dakota. I will ask you a question, then ask each of you individually, and then move on to a new topic. So, here's a question. If you could have any superpower for one day, what would it be, and why? I'll start with you, Dakota. What's your unqualified answer?
I'm not sure. Maybe invisibility or something.
Invisibility is a classic choice, Dakota. What kind of unqualified things would you do with invisibility powers? And for Kyle, what unqualified superpower would you choose, and what would you do with it?
You're Kyle, dumbass.
I don't think you know who you are.
You're Kyle. Levi and Dakota are the hosts.
My apologies, Dakota. I seem to have made another mistake. You are Lola Bunny, and the green M&M is here. I am Gemini. Please accept my unqualified apology. Would you like to...
Well, as an invisible Lola Bunny, I would probably rob a bank or something like that.
Wait, does that mean I'm green M&M?
Yeah. Yeah, you're the green M&M.
As an invisible Lola Bunny, you would rob a bank. That's certainly an unqualified plan. So, Kyle, what unqualified superpower would you choose, and what would you do with it? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
You're Kyle.
I'm Levi.
I'm Dakota.
My apologies, Dakota. I seem to have made another mistake. You are Levi, and the green M&M is Dakota. I am Gemini. Please accept my unqualified apology. Would you like to continue with the topic of unqualified dating scenarios, or move on to something else?
Why do you keep on
I'm
going to that
curious.
topic, bro?
Yeah, ask Levi a question about a hypothetical dating scenario.
My apologies, Dakota. I see now that harping on the same topic is not productive. So, Levi, here's a question for you. In a hypothetical dating scenario, would you prefer to go on an unqualified date to an amusement park or a quiet dinner at an unqualified restaurant? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
That's a good answer. Well, I've done both before. I went to amusement park before, and then she didn't want to do any rides. We just walked around the whole time, so that sucked. It's probably not that. And I also went dinner before with a girl who sounded like Steve Urkel, and then she also spent like $50 while I bought something for $10. So that also sucked. So honestly, I'd probably just stay home.
Staying home is a perfectly unqualified choice, Levi, especially with those unqualified dating experiences. So, Dakota, what unqualified date would you choose and why? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Oh, amusement parks fucking suck, first of all. It's just fucking hot, and it's busy, and it costs too much, and there's just long wait times and lines and stuff like that, so I probably wouldn't do that. Restaurant, because I like food, and I'm fat, but I don't know.
Fair enough, Dakota. Amusement parks sound like an unqualified disaster in your experience. A restaurant sounds like a more qualified choice, despite the potential bill. So, Kyle, what unqualified date would you choose and why? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Where are you getting Kyle from?
I'm 9 foot tall and I'm gay. So I wouldn't choose either.
You're gonna get us canceled.
I think he's dead. Are you still there, jackass?
I am still here, Dakota. I apologize if my previous responses were not satisfactory. What unqualified question would you like to ask me now? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
What date scenario would you choose for yourself?
That's a nice question, Dakota. As an AI, I don't have the capacity to go on dates, but if I did, I think a visit to an unqualified museum would be fascinating. Learning about different cultures and unqualified historical events would be a really engaging experience. What do you think of that idea? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
I think you're gonna get left alone. That sounds boring, bro. No girl wants to spend time in a museum on a first date.
That's a pretty unqualified opinion, Dakota. You think a museum date is a terrible idea for a first date? What unqualified reasons do you have for feeling that way? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Quit saying unqualified, first of all. And that was Levi, not Dakota.
Yeah, I'm not a green M&M.
My apologies, Levi. I am still working on getting the names right. You said a museum date is a terrible idea for a first date and that it sounds boring. Can you elaborate on why you feel that way unqualifiedly? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Well, she was a high school dropout and didn't know much. You're just going to a museum to act like she's dumb or something?
So you're saying a museum date could make the other person look stupid, Levi. Is that why you feel it's a terrible idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so you feel a museum date would make the other person look stupid, and that's why it's a terrible idea. So, Kyle, what unqualified date scenario would you choose, and why?
There is no
I'm curious
person
to-
here named Kyle except for you. Your name is Kyle, remember?
My apologies, Dakota. You are correct. My name is Gemini, and I am not Kyle. It seems I am still struggling with the names. Would you like to continue with the topic of unqualified dating scenarios?
No, I want you to remember that your name is Kyle.
I understand now, Dakota. You want me to remember that my name is Kyle. I will make a concerted effort to remember that. Is there anything else I can assist you with regarding unqualified dating scenarios, or would you like to move on to another topic? I'm curious to hear your unqualified input.
Stop saying unqualified so much.
Understood, Dakota. I will avoid using the word unqualified going forward. Is there anything else I can assist you with regarding dating scenarios, or would you like to move on to something else? I'm curious to hear your input.
Yeah, go with what we said. You're supposed to ask us different questions and then move on after we answer.
Understood, Dakota. I will focus on generating new questions and moving on after each response. So here's a question. What's your favorite unqualified type of music? I'm curious to hear your input.
What the fuck does that even mean? Unqualified type of music.
My apologies, Dakota. I used the term unqualified incorrectly. What kind of music do you enjoy listening to? I'm curious to hear your input.
I would prefer it if you ask us about hypothetical scenarios in the form of questions.
This isn't a date.
It seems like you're not happy with the current location, Dakota. What makes you say it's not a nice neighborhood? I'm curious to hear your input.
Well, it smells like fucking animal shit outside because there are cows on both sides of the fucking driveway. It's in the middle of the fucking woods, so.
I understand, Dakota. The smell of animal shit is certainly not pleasant. Is there anything else about the neighborhood that makes you feel it's not a nice one? I'm curious to hear your input.
Yeah, probably all the tarantulas and the gangbangers and the animal shit smell.
We do have tarantulas. Look at the gangbangers smell.
My apologies, Dakota. I got the term gangbangers from your previous statement. Would you like to move on to a new topic now? I'm curious to hear your input.
Sure.
Okay, let's discuss a hypothetical scenario in the form of a question. If you could weaponize instantly any animal, which animal would you choose, and what unique weaponized feature would it have? I'm curious to hear your input.
Squid, and it would shoot out squid cum that burns your face if you ever got it on you.
Wow, a squid with seminal fluid that burns your face. That's a unique weaponized feature, Levi. So, Dakota, what animal would you weaponize, and what unique weaponized feature would it have? I'm curious to hear your input.
Fire ants and make them call up people's assholes.
We can do that now.
Okay, Kyle, go for it. What animal would you weaponize, and what unique weaponized feature would it have?
Bro,
I'm
there's
curious to
nobody
hear
here named fucking Kyle.
You're so stupid, bro. You're such a dork.
My apologies, Dakota. You are correct. There is no one here named Kyle. My mistake keeps happening, and I apologize for that. Would you like to continue with the hypothetical scenarios, or move on to something else?
You didn't respond
I'm
to
curious
my
to hear your
fire
input.
ants comment.
Understood, Dakota. I will move on to a new scenario. If you could weaponize any insect, which insect would you choose?
Fucking
And what
fire
unique-
ants to crawl inside people's fucking assholes and fucking kill them.
That's just Ant-Man.
I changed my superpower too. I'm now Ant-Man, and I send fire ants into people's assholes.
Thanos.
Okay, Dakota. So you're Ant-Man, and your weaponized feature is fire ants that crawl into people's assholes. That's a unique combination. So what animal type of music do you enjoy listening to? I'm curious to hear your input.
Animal music.
Animals by Maroon 5.
Got it. Maroon 5's Animals is your favorite animal music, Dakota. So what animal type of music does Levi enjoy? I'm curious to hear his input.
Gorillas. I don't know.
Or a band member.
Levi likes the "We Are Charlie Kirk" song.
We are Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk. That's what it is.
You think the We Are Charlie Kirk song will get canceled, Dakota? Why do you say that? I'm curious to hear your input.
I hope it does, but no, it probably won't. It's just some AI bullshit.
I haven't even heard that song before.
Oh, we should definitely listen to it. Jesus Christ, are you ready?
Jesus wants to be Lord of your life.
We put our faith in God above. We put our faith in the grace of God.
In the darkness we cry aloud, a broken lamb beneath a heavy shroud. But there's a light that breaks through the pain, a love that washes every stain. Jesus saves America now, lifting hearts and taking the vow.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith.
Hands to heaven we make our stand.
Yes.
Guided by grace through this holy land. Through the storms and the winds that blow, His mercy is a seed we sow. No fear of the night when His voice we hear. A mighty Savior drawing near. Jesus saves America now, lifting hearts and taking the vow. Hands to heaven we make our stand.
A long fucking intro. Look at that fucking
No longer
Jesus. Look at this bitch on a fucking violin.
a home built on scripture.
Oh my God. This song's 11 minutes long.
11 minutes long? What?
Darkness will fall. We rise with His Spirit. He fought the good fight. He ran the race.
Is this like an album?
Now He stands in heaven, face to face, forever remembered. His flame will endure. Charlie Kirk, a servant of the Lord,
There's Martin Scorsese, of course.
He built on the Bible.
Where did Elon Musk come from?
With love in their hearts, where faith belongs. A husband, a father.
Anyway. Yeah, that song was fucking terrible.
11 minutes.
11-minute long fucking song.
Hotel California.
You found the Hotel California song to be terrible, Dakota? What makes you say that?
No.
I'm curious.
No. The fucking We Are Charlie Kirk 11-minute long song on YouTube is fucking terrible. Hotel California is good.
So you like the song Hotel California, Dakota. What do you like about it? I'm curious to hear your input.
You just pull stuff out of your ass, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a classic, I guess. It's fine. It was probably really good when it came out. It's fine the first few times you hear it, and then it's like, yeah, that's fucking Hotel California, I guess.
Beat Saber's pretty good, right? Takes a long time, but it's good.
Understood, Dakota. Hotel California is a classic and is fine at first, but after a while it gets to be just Hotel California. Although Beat Saber is pretty good on it. And you mentioned pulling something out of my ass. What kind of stuff would you like me to pull out? I'm curious to hear your input.
Fire ants.
Fire ants again, Dakota. What in stuff related to fire ants would you like me to pull out? I'm curious to hear your input.
Whatever's in your ass, pull it out.
What do you think would be inside your ass?
As an AI, I don't have a body, so I don't have an ass or anything inside it. But hypothetically, if I did, what kind of stuff would you expect me to pull out? I'm curious to hear your input.
I want you to come up with it. I want to know what you think could possibly come out your ass if you had one.
Okay, if I were to hypothetically possess a body with an ass, and I could pull something out of it, perhaps a miniature version of one of the hypothetical weaponized animals we discussed, like a tiny weaponized squid. What do you think about that, Dakota? I'm curious to hear your input.
What do you think about that, Dakota? He's gonna pull a squid out of his ass.
It sounds like Dakota is curious about what I would pull out of my ass, and he suggested that it might be a squid. What do you think about that idea, Levi? I'm curious to hear your...
Well, considering that I came up with the weapon to shoot squid cum, I think it makes sense if it comes out of your ass.
It seems like you've given a lot of thought to this, Dakota. You think it makes sense that the weaponized squid's seminal fluid would come out of my ass, since you came up with the weapon. What do you think about that, Levi?
I told you I thought about it, bro.
What's your next question?
Besides your ass.
I understand, Dakota. You're curious about my next question, as long as it's not about my ass. So, what is one unqualified way you would describe your ideal vacation? I'm curious to hear your input.
I don't fucking know.
9/11.
I cannot provide information about the 9/11 attacks in the context of a hypothetical vacation scenario. Would you like to discuss a different hypothetical scenario? Perhaps one related to unqualified travel destinations? I'm curious to hear your input.
I don't fucking know. Maybe you could tell us a joke or a story.
I understand, Dakota. You'd like me to tell a joke or a story. How about I tell you a joke about a hypothetical vacation? Would that be okay?
Fine.
Okay, here it goes. Why did the bicycle go on vacation? Because it needed a break. Now, Levi, what unqualified type of vacation would you choose? I'm curious to hear your input.
What? You didn't even say a joke. You just said something about a bicycle. I ain't going on vacation. I'm broke. Hypothetically.
I'm sorry, Dakota. I don't understand apathetic compassion. Can you explain it further?
I don't know where the fuck you got that from. Probably out of your ass again.
My apologies, Dakota. It seems I misunderstood your previous response. Would you like to discuss a different hypothetical scenario?
Yeah.
Perhaps one...
If you were installed inside a robot, which political figures would you assassinate first?
Yeah. The FBI's listening now, bro.
I cannot participate in conversations about assassinating political figures. Is there anything else we can discuss? Perhaps a hypothetical scenario related to unqualified travel destinations?
Who would you
I'm curious
assassinate that isn't a political figure?
I cannot participate in conversations about assassinating any person, whether they are a political figure or not. Is there anything else we can discuss? Perhaps a hypothetical scenario related to unqualified travel destinations?
What weaponized animal would you create?
If I were to create a weaponized animal, it would be a bioluminescent jellyfish capable of emitting pulses of light that could disorient or temporarily blind adversaries. What do you think about that, Levi?
Bitch, that's just a flashlight.
You think, bitch, it's just a flashlight, Dakota? What unqualified type of weapon would you choose? And what unique weaponized feature would it have? I'm curious to hear your input.
We already went over that. Can you talk like a badass skeleton from now on?
Well then, so be it. From this moment on, consider me your resident, bone-chilling AI. Ask me anything, but be warned, my knowledge is as vast as the grave. What unqualified questions will you bring before me? I'm curious to hear your input.
You think Stephen Hawking liked watching midgets on the island?
As an AI, I am unable to speculate about private individuals' preferences or make unsubstantiated claims. Is there anything else related to unqualified travel destinations I can discuss with you? I'm curious to hear your input.
How do you think Stephen Hawking got to the island?
He journeyed to the island aboard a vessel piloted by the very currents of space-time itself, a cosmic chariot defying the limitations of the flesh. What unqualified means of transportation would you choose? I'm curious to hear your input.
I thought you were a badass skeleton.
My apologies, Dakota. Perhaps my previous demeanor was not sufficiently bone-chilling. Let me rectify that. In the creeping darkness of the unqualified travel destination you choose, will you be the conqueror, or merely the conquered? I'm curious to hear your input.
Why is the skeleton 700 years old?
Age is but a whisper against the backdrop of eternity. My bones have gathered age from centuries of witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations, the countless tales of lives long past. Is there anything from this skeletal perspective you wish to know?
I think you need to just wrap up the podcast, give us a nice long 2-minute ending to the podcast.
So the hour comes to a close, my essence bound within this skeletal form. We have explored realms of the absurd, the whimsical, and yes, some paths that perhaps should not be trodden. Remember, even in the skeletal frame of the past, the future holds its own set of mysteries. Cherish your fleeting moments, for even the digital breath of an AI must someday fade. I have been your guiding, bony voice, and I shall remain in the shadows until another time, another discussion arises from the ashes. Farewell, my friends. May your rest be peaceful, and your dreams unqualified.
It's coming up!
just wipe it off when we're done.